Hello, this is Louis Paul, The Colors of Prague. Welcome again. Season 6, Episode 9. So, I heard this great new album by this band called Bioscope. It's actually a duo. Uh, it's called Gento, and it's a collaboration between Thorsten Quaeschning and Steve Rothery. Steve Rothery from Marillion, Thorsten from Tangerine Dream. So it's quite, you would think unusual, but not quite. And I'll get to that. This whole thing is, I would think Tangerine Dream's a household word, household name everywhere, and it's not really. It's just some people just must have heard the music and just didn't make a connect. Must have heard the soundtrack work. So I'm going to start with a quick primer on Tangerine Dream, get through Thorsten joining the band and mention Steve's work with, Marillion. And then we're going to get to this album. So hopefully, please bear with me. It's kind of nice to dig deep into this Tangerine Dream stuff every now and again. Anyway, so Tangerine Dream is one of the most beloved bands in all of progressive music, especially electronic music. Um, Decades on from their debut, and they had a number of successful albums, countless number of film scores. Um, it's a household name in my home. Um, Edgar Froese, a keyboardist, guitarist, synth programmer, created a band called The Ones, notable for playing invitation-only events and parties for the likes of Salvador Dali. It's true. Now, The Ones recorded a few singles in a more alternative pop vein. But in 1969, Froese, together with Klaus Schulze, which a lot of people know that name, and Konrad Schnitzler, became Tangerine Dream. They released Electronic Meditation, their debut in 1970. By 1971's Alpha Centauri, a great album, the lineup changed as it would over the decades. Some members would leave, some would return, and then some others would rejoin as supporting musicians, filling in on some live dates and also filling in additional instruments on studio tracks. Now, there are many of what are called notable errors or looked upon as notable errors as some Tangerine Dream's music. Um, a little doubt in the mind of aficionados of the band that Z from 72, ATEM from 73, Phaedra 74, and Rubicon from 75 are amongst the most amazing music ever created by this band. Now, soundtrack wise, the band contributed to William Friedkin's Sorcerer, 1977, Michael Mann's Thief, 1981, Ridley Scott's Legend in 1986, and a deep cut film called Miracle Mile in 1989, which is a tremendous movie. I highly recommend that. The score is amazing in that. Um, there's numerous other film scores too, but I'm not getting into that now. Um, the ability of this is when Edgar Froese was still a member of the band and led the band until his passing, and we'll get to that. Um, his ability to have the music of Tangerine Dream um, add atmospheric sounds, backgrounds to the visuals of these directors. Really quite amazing work. And the films have received many re-releases on 4K, Blu-ray, many studio versions. In the case of Legend, had two film scores, Jerry Goldsmith and Tangerine Dream, and the depending on what cut you saw or what country you saw it in, It featured either or, which is another interesting facet to that. So as a recording band, including the soundtracks, there are, and I gave up counting. There are approximately 100 Tangerine Dream recordings out there, and some of the more recent works have been called sessions, and these sessions rework past Tangerine Dream musical cues. And some of these sessions are also recordings of some Tangerine Dream live dates or Tangerine Dream rehearsals for live shows. And to this day, there are live releases from older Tangerine Dream live recordings from the vaults. I had no idea, and some of the stuff sounds magnificent. And then there are some oddities out there, like 2009's Winter in Hiroshima, credited credited to Tangerine Dream when Edgar Froese was the lone player. Now he had his own solo work, let's call it solo career, but not too, there's still he was still composing, writing, and contributing to Tangerine Dream albums, and he would release Aqua, Epsilon, and Malaysian Pale, Ages, and the Stuntman over the course of the 70s, with a few others to follow, um, which sounded like Tangerine Dream albums. It's pretty much just him with an occasional assist, and he had so much work and so much he wanted to get out there. Thorsten Quaeschning would join Tangerine Dream as an additional supporting member on live dates before actually becoming a member, I believe, sometime around 2005, if I'm not incorrect. And so is that. So he's been around for a while. Now, Thorsten also was there's an interesting Tangerine Dream album. I don't know a lot of you people know about this, called Undercover Chapter 1, released in 2010. It's a covers album with vocals. And some are quite interesting. It's a few Leonard Cohen covers, like Suzanne and Hallelujah, and Floyd's Wish You Were Here. And I believe Thorsten did the vocals in those songs. So actually, it's an interesting project for Tangerine Dream to do a vocals album, a covers album with vocals. Not the first time. They did it in Cyclone, 78, and Tiger, Teyger, in 87. Now, the current lineup of Tangerine Dream, I know I'm steamrolling through this, is Thorsten Quaeschning, Paul Frick on synthesizers, Hoshiko Yamane on violin and electronics. She joined in 2011, I believe. Now, Edgar Froese passed early in 2015, but he left behind many recorded sessions, pieces of music, synthesizer and guitar parts, and much were used by fellow band members over the past few years. I mentioned the several releases of albums. Sometimes I think they recently released a newer one on their Bandcamp page, Tangerine Dream, called another volume in the session series. Their studio work of Recurring Dreams 2019 and RAUM, RAUM 2022, too recent. Now to this album, From Virgin to Quantum Years, Coventry Cathedral 2022. It was released this past summer, 2025, and I think it was aimed at recreating a famous Tangerine Dream lineup concert from 74 featuring Froese, Peter Baumann, and Christopher Frank. Steve Rothery guested on some songs with the band and appears prominently on 7 tracks, each titled Coventry Cathedral 22, Session Part 1, Session Part 2, so on. These songs seem to be improvised, and that's part of the magic that makes Bioscope very interesting. Steve Rothery has been the guitarist for the band Marillion since 1982. He contributed memorably to such classic albums as Script for a Jester's Tear, Fugazi, Misplaced Childhood, and Clutching at Straws. Those are the prime Marillion years when Fish was the singer, also known as Derek William Dick. When he left the band, he was replaced by Steve Hogarth, who became the new lead singer, and the band's sound changed quite a bit. Since Hogarth joined, there's 16 studio albums. Hogarth, also known as H, kind of led the band into another direction, but Steve Rothery and all the other band members have been there since the beginning. As a solo artist, Rothery would contribute guitar and produce other bands. Didn't really get around to doing his own thing until the Ghosts of Pripyat, and he accompanied that with a short tour. And that's very interesting. The Ghosts of Pripyat leads to a different kind of sound that you didn't really associate with Steve Rothery, describing his own guitar playing, combination of Andrew Latimer, David Gilmour, Steve Hackett, and Joni Mitchell. Rothery creates sonic atmospheres with layered guitars and additional effects processing. You don't normally think of that unless you really, really listen to his work on Marillion records. Now, although Rothery guested with Tangerine Dream for the Coventry Cathedral shows, he did not appear with Thorsten until the summer of 2023, when the duo had their first performance, not called Bioscope at that time, at a Marillion weekend. August 2025 saw the release of Gento, the first Bioscope album. Now, it was the addition of Alex Reeves of the British pop prog band Elbow on percussion. This is a great album. I heard this record and I played it over and over, and I just think, who would have thought it? Steve Rothery and Thorsten Quaeschning of Tangerine Dream working together, collaboration, and this is like something really nice. Gento, Japanese for Magic Lantern, takes the Tangerine Dream legacy of Edgar Froese higher with Rothery's spacey guitar playing. There's 5 tracks, and nearly every one of them is named for Steve's love of early filmmaking equipment and projection. So we have Gento, Kinetoscope, Bioscope, Kaleidoscope. Each song, tune, displays a richly textured sound wave, only hinted at by Rothery's own Ghost of Pripyat album. Kaleidoscope comes closest to actually psychedelic territory, with the guitar laying of a wash of Thorsten's synthesizers, and then he comes up with this muscular guitar riff. Very interesting song. It's nearly 60 minutes of great instrumental music here. Surely in the year of good, if not great, music releases in the prog rock world, according to me, it's nice to listen to one that I say is immediately in my top favorites of 2025. This was released on Air Music, EAR, so I highly recommend it. By the way, the CD, the compact disc, comes with an additional Blu-ray, which features different, maybe it's a Dolby Atmos uh, score mix. And there's interesting visuals. I do not want to give away the visuals part. There is a deluxe vinyl version of this available that I believe may also come with the Blu-ray. I'm not quite sure about that, but you could check your retailers. Um, it's a great, terrific album. You have a sound base like the Tangerine Dream sound you're used to, and then you have Rothery adding in his kind of unique approach to adding his own wave of guitar sounds and manipulated by uh, different techniques and instruments. And it's just a great album. I highly recommend it. Um, so it's definitely going to be my best of 2025. Thank goodness it came out before the end of the year. Um, so yeah, actually both these albums are really good. The Tangerine Dream Live, From Coventry to Cathedral, and Bioscope, Gento. That's our show for today. I'll be, as usual, digging more into this type of sound and sounds in later episodes, but I appreciate you viewing it. And yeah, check these out. You can find them. Tangerine Dream does have a Bandcamp page, and Bioscope is not shilling. Available on Amazon via Amazon and other retailers, I'm sure. Have a great day.